Before you freak out about my hair, it is a clip-in. It is temporary. All the fun of bangs, but none of the commitment. It is not real. I just wanted to look cute, with minimal effort. Okay, so leave me be. I realized last month that some people are gonna walk into this series of videos without any context of what is happening, so I should give context every time that I do this. So, here we go. The Broadway 2-A-Day Challenge is an online challenge that was created by Stacey Muscati Moore, aka Theater Kid Audition Coach on TikTok. She wanted to listen to all the musicals in a year, and a lot of us online were just like, yeah, I'll join in for the ride. So here I am, ranking each one on an A through F scale. Well, technically S through F. Well, I'll explain the scale right now. S tier is mwah, perfection, a piece of art, and you cannot change my mind. A is really good, worthy enough to be added to my favorites on Spotify. B is pretty good. It's not for me, but I can see why other people would like it. C is for I enjoyed it in the moment, but looking back, I probably can't remember it. D is for I couldn't really pay attention while listening to it, and it's absolutely forgettable. And F is for no, do not pass go. It is terrible, it is horrible for some reason, or I just couldn't finish listening to it. Oh, and of course, there is L for lost to time, because sometimes shows don't have a recording, or they do, and we don't have access to it because it's a very obscure recording. The month of March covered musicals from 1960 to 1965 ish. So, that being said, let's just hop right into it. Do Re Mi. A con man tries to straighten out his life by entering the jukebox industry. I enjoyed listening to the music, but I might have to give it a re-listen to fully give it justice. For now, this is a B. The Conquering Hero. It only ran for 8 performances and there is no known recording. This is an L. 13 Daughters. A family with 12 daughters, number 13 is on the way, is cursed not to marry until their 13 calabash trees blossom. The music was pretty good. I really admire the Hawaiian elements incorporated in. The original Broadway cast was very much not Chinese and Hawaiian, which is a bit yikes, but the version that we listened to had a Hawaiian cast, which was actually quite nice. Anyways, this is a B. Vintage 60. I literally have nothing written about this. This is an L. Donnybrook, a boxer who swore to never fight anyone again, falls in love with a woman who wants a man to fight for her. The music in this one was fine enough, but I ultimately don't remember it. This is a D. Camelot. It's the story of King Arthur and Camelot, essentially. The music in this one is pretty decent. I would say I liked it overall, and I'm familiar with some of the songs since I sing them in my voice lessons, but I'm not a fan. I think the show itself goes on for a little bit too long. I totally get how there's a lot of detail in the story of Camelot, but I can't help but feel that some of it could be cut down. This is a B. Sorry, Allie. The Unsinkable Molly Brown. A woman moves her way up through society and is, very briefly, on the Titanic. The music was okay, but it's not really my style, and I found the lead to be a little bit irritating. I'm also very underwhelmed by the lack of Titanic plot point. I thought there would be more importance to it, considering it's what brought her real-life counterpart to fame. This is a C. Showgirl! It's a musical review with Carol Burnett. I think this is the first review that I'm actually not a fan of. Some of the songs were fine, but some of them were also really irritating. There's this one sketch with a character who whistles while saying his S's, and I couldn't stand listening to it. I give it a C. Carnival! Drama happens at a carnival, basically. This sounds familiar. I was gonna write the standout songs for this show, but then I never did. But anyways, I really enjoyed the music of this one. I quite like the story, and I think it's really interesting, but I don't get why the girl still decides to choose the guy who is so mean to her just because he's nice to her through puppets. I gave it an A minus? Am I allowed to do minuses? Like, I know this is like my rating scale, but like, feels gross to give like a A minus. This is a bit of a side note. I was really lacking in my notes this month, so there's just huge gaps in my thoughts about everything. The Happiest Girl in the World. The titular song reminded me of Oh, What a Beautiful Morning for whatever reason. I don't know. I gave it a C. I don't remember anything else about it. Sail Away. The music was fine enough, and then we got to the alphabet song with some very questionable lyrics, and then we got to Customers Always Right with even more questionable lyrics, and then it lost me. This is a C. Milk and Honey. People fall in love amidst the backdrop of Israel's fight to be an independent country. I don't really remember this one, but I think I liked it. This is a C. How to succeed in business without really trying. A man succeeds in business without really trying. This one was fun. I really liked the music of it, but like I wouldn't call it one of my all-time favorites, so this is a B. Let It Ride. A man has a skill of predicting the outcome of horse races. This one kind of grew on me a bit. At first, I wasn't a huge fan, and some of the songs are definitely misses, but I still found it an overall fun experience. This is a B. Plus, New Faces of 1962. It's a musical review, and oddly enough, we don't have a recording of this particular New Faces, so this is an L. Kwamina. From Wikipedia, the son of an African tribal chief returns home after attending medical school in London and finds his modern methods conflict with his village's traditions. A lot of people on the Discord server like this one, and I can totally see why. It's quite enjoyable and the sound is very unique. That said, I started to pay less attention in the second half. Of course, I don't know the complete context of the book, but this show clearly has roots in colonialism since it compares European and African medicine traditions. However, there is a distant hope in my heart that this show could benefit from a rework. This is a B. Keen. A Shakespeare actor balances having two lovers. The song Chime In stood out to me, but I really remember nothing else from it. This is a C. The Gay Life. It is not what you think it is. A playboy decides to settle down and get married, but it gets complicated. I got super excited at the overture, but then the musical turned out to be standard musical stuff. It was still a fun experience, though. Definitely not boring or a trudge to listen through. So, I guess it's a B. The Billy Barnes People. It's a musical review. The music in this one seems extremely old-fashioned, which is bizarre considering it's from the 60s. Some of the songs are nice, but I was ultimately underwhelmed. This is a C. Subways are for sleeping. A woman goes undercover to report on the homeless in subway trains, and also love happens, I think. What a pleasant surprise this show was. I enjoyed listening to it a lot, and all I can say is that I would highly recommend it. This is an A. A family affair. A Chicago couple gets married, but their families get out of control with the wedding planning. And that's all I wrote. I didn't even give it a rating. My god. Let's go with D, because I can't remember anything about it. Sure, why not? No Strings. A model and a writer fall in love and eventually part ways, with no strings attached. Get it? The music of this one is really good, but I think the lyrics were a bit lackluster. This show is pretty revolutionary because its leading lady, Diane Carroll, was the first black woman to win a Tony Award for Best Actress, so that's pretty cool. The musical itself, haha, it's a B. All-American. Football and engineering classes at a college combined. I think. I don't remember a lot of it. This is a C. I Can Get It For You Wholesale. A businessman tries to get to the top of the garment industry. Most of it was fine enough. I agree with the reviews that the one standout is Barbra Streisand in her Broadway debut. She absolutely shines here. This is a B. Bravo Giovanni. A family restaurant competes with a chain by digging a tunnel to the chain's basement and stealing their food. Do you remember the knockoff Ratatouille movie? Ratatouille? I feel like it's like vaguely similar to that, and I can't help but think of that. But anyways, the music wasn't terrible. It just wasn't my style. This is a B. Stop the world. I want to get off. A man lives his life. That's the simplest way I can put it. It starts from his birth and ends with his death. I think some of the songs are a bit of a miss, but other than that, I really love the concept, and some of the melodies are really great. I would skip Mumbo Jumbo, though. It's not aged well. Also, the title is a very big mood. This is a B. Mr. President. A fictional former president returns to politics. I remember having notes about this show, but now I can't remember any of the songs. This is a C. Nowhere to go but up. We don't have a recording of it. This is an L. A funny thing happened on the way to the forum. A man tries to earn his freedom by helping his master find love. Hilarity ensues. If you're able to watch this show in its entirety, I'd really recommend it. Sure, the music is great, but this show truly shines in its farcical elements between the songs. I guess that's a limitation of the challenge, that we can't see the scenes in between these songs that might redeem some of the haphazard music. Except for Christine. Nothing can redeem Christine. Anyways, Forum is a solid A. Little Me. A woman writes an autobiography, and also a lot of her lovers die. A few songs stood out to me at the time, like Poor Little Hollywood Star, but otherwise it's not very memorable. This is a C. Oliver! It's Oliver Twist. But musical. The opening song is so strong and so catchy. I was talking to my roommate about how it sets up for an arpeggio but then ends flat to create a dissonance that I really like. The rest of the songs are also great, but some of them are a bit repetitive. I'm looking at you, Papa. Otherwise, it's very enjoyable and I think it's a good Broadway staple. This is an A. Tovarich! I couldn't even begin to tell you how this story works, and I won't bother to because the musical was incredibly boring and the finale was underwhelming. This is a D. Sophie! A woman makes her way through vaudeville. The music is a bit old-fashioned in comparison to the other shows we listened to, and the piano in the recording has this really unpleasant twang that makes it go wonky after each note, but otherwise it was fine. This is a B. Hot Spot! There's a fiasco with the Peace Corps, I think. The recording from this one was actually a live recording obtained by a Discord member, so the audio isn't the best quality in the world. Regardless, I think there's a reason this show closed after 43 performances. It's incredibly dull, and nothing stands out about it. I couldn't finish listening to this one, so that's an F. She Loves Me. Two people working at a department store despise each other, not knowing that they're secretly pen pals in love. Have you seen You've Got Mail? It's the exact same source material. Okay. So, I originally gave this show a B because it wasn't for me, but I could see why other people liked it. And then I started to like the show. The music is very enjoyable. The titular song and Ice Cream are obvious standouts. Okay, She Loves Me fans, I get it. This is an A. The Prince of Liederkranz. We don't have a recording, so this is an L. Here's Love. A man tries to convince a girl and her recently divorced father that he is really Santa. It's a Christmas musical. It was probably fine enough, but the only thing I remember from it was a Christmas carol that they stuck in the middle of one of the songs, so this is a C. Jenny! A couple perform various melodramas across the country. The music is fine, but one of their melodramas is horribly racist, so it's a yikes for me. This is a D. 110 in the Shade. Drama ensues in a town that is experiencing a drought. I really enjoyed the music of this one. I definitely want to listen to it again to express my words about it better, but trust me when I say that this is an A. The Girl Who Came to Supper. An actress and a prince fall in love. It's by no means terrible, but I don't remember it very well. This is a C. Hello, Dolly. A woman meddles in other people's love lives for a living and also finds love for herself. I definitely went, oh, so that's where that's from, a few times while listening, especially with Sunday Close. I also didn't put a rating for this one. I don't know why. Oh, you know why I was struggling? I was struggling with this one because it's such an iconic musical, but I don't know if it's for me. So, like, it's somewhere between an A and a B. I'll give it an A minus. Are we happy with that? Can we do that? I think that's a good compromise. Rugantino. It's Italian, and very technically it should not be a part of the challenge because it's an opera that had a Broadway venue and not really a Broadway musical, but whatever, the music was good, I'll give it a B. Foxy! A man tries to swindle a trio out of stolen money by claiming he is dying and looking for an heir. I didn't put anything about the music, so you know what? We'll give it a D and call it a day. What Makes Sammy Run? A man schemes his way through the Hollywood industry. I remember nothing from it, and I wrote this the next day. This is a D. Funny Girl. Inspired by the life of Fanny Brice, a woman becomes a star with the Ziegfeld Follies. I can't believe I haven't listened to the song sooner. It has all the iconic songs that made me go, oh, that's where that's from. And of course, Don't Rain on My Parade is perfection. But the context of some of the songs are extremely underwhelming. The songs are good, but the book is just, you know? I think this one's also an A minus. I'm allowed to do that. Anyone Can Whistle. I don't want to try to explain this one in 2 sentences or less. You're just gonna have to look up the wild plot for yourself. It was pretty decent. I was familiar with the titular song because I had sung it before for a voice lesson, but otherwise I don't know if this show is really my taste. This is a B. High Spirits. A man is haunted by the ghost of his wife, and then later his new wife also becomes a ghost. My immediate first thought was, oh great, Beatrice Lilly's in this. Other than that, the music was fine. I got pulled in by a few of the songs, but ultimately I don't think I will be remembering it. This is a C. Cafe Crown. A busboy invests in Broadway. I think. The music is fine, just not very memorable. That's probably why it closed after 3 performances. This is a C. Fade Out. Fade In. A woman tries to make it in Hollywood but has a string of bad luck. I remember nothing about it. This is a D. Fiddler on the Roof. A Jewish man must confront tradition as his daughters grow up and the world changes around him. What can I say about the music that isn't already well known? It is a classic, and tons of spoofs and homages have been made to the show. I was actually really lucky enough to see the 2016 revival, and I just loved everything about it. I am also fearful of what others will say if I give it anything below an A, so haha, this is an S. Cambridge Circus. It's a review, I think, but we don't have a recording of it, so it's an L. Golden Boy. A man starts prize fighting to gain fame and fortune. The opening song is very impressive. The rest of the show kind of falls into standard musical stuff, but overall I really enjoyed this one. This is an A. Ben Franklin in Paris. It's Ben Franklin in Paris. There were some very strange phrases to come out of this one, like being pickled in a cask of madeira wine for 200 years, but I don't really recall much else. This is a C. Something more. A novelist takes his family to Italy to find inspiration, and hijinks ensue. The music was pretty decent in this one. It's a shame there isn't really an actual recording. This is a B. The Committee. It's an improvisational review. We don't have a recording for this one, which makes sense, because how would you even record improv? This is an L. Folies Bergères. It's a review that's actually legitimately French. They were in Paris and had a special run on Broadway, which makes you ask if this one should even count. Anyway, the music was fine enough, but nothing was memorable. This is a C. Bajour. A PhD student studies the Romani people in New York. The music is fine, but the show is terribly racist though, so this is an F. I Had a Ball. A grifter turned fortune teller discovers that his crystal ball really does have the power to tell the future. It's fine, just really boring. This is a D. How tragic is it that I'm almost done ranking all the musicals, but my camera's recording limit was reached. Anyways, Baker Street. It's Sherlock Holmes. I couldn't really pay attention to it, and then I promptly wiped it from my memory. This is a D. This was burlesque. It was burlesque. There's a recording out there, but we don't have access to it, so this is an L. Do I Hear a Waltz? People fall in love in Venice, drama ensues. I enjoyed most of it, but couldn't help but feel something was missing. Apparently, Sondheim had a few creative disagreements with Rogers about the show, and some of it is apparent in the music. But really, I don't really. I gave it a B, but it's like a less enthusiastic B, you know? Half a Sixpence. A man goes from rags to riches and also falls in love. What a relief it was to listen to this one. I enjoyed it so much. All the songs are fun and charming. The romance is also the cutest thing I've ever seen, and now I want to be wooed with half a sixpence. Are you listening out there, future spouse? This is an A, and that is it. That is all the musicals for the month of March. I don't know what I got myself into, because I'm finding more and more that the musicals of the past are very underwhelming, and maybe there's a reason that we don't know that many of them. Well, I think my roommates are gonna come home soon or start up playing the streaming thingy-mabobbers. I can't word anymore. I'm gonna listen to more musicals and maybe post other videos while I'm here. Okay, bye.